If I told you this camera wasn't a GoPro, well, you'd probably think that it was just another wannabe. That sucks. But boy, do I have a pleasant surprise for you. This camera is called a DJI Osmo Action 3. And after using it for months, DJI asked to sponsor an honest look at my thoughts on the camera. Let's dive into what I love about this camera and potentially what I don't. Real quick, guys, pulling you out of the editing screen. I'm editing the video right now, but before I launch this video, I wanted to give you this audio bite here, and that is the fact that I have been working with DJI a lot over the last few months. I'm a big fan of their products. I'm a big fan of their company. They've taken very good care of me, so I want you to know that before you watch this review. I'm not going to be unfair about it. If there's things I don't like about the camera, I'm going to tell you about it, but I figured I should let you know this, so with full transparency. Without any further ado though, let's dive into this thing.
First up, let's start with price. The Osmo 3 costs $329 just for the camera and $429 for the Adventure combo. That's the package that comes with like a pole mount and a battery pack and kind of some extra accessories. First thing you notice when you're looking at it might be the front and back LCD screens here. Both of the touch screens are super responsive. Pretty much every time I click and tap, it responds accordingly. Taking a look at the build quality and design of this camera, I've found that it's super sleek, super compact. It's a form factor that we're used to. All action cameras these days are pretty damn durable. I've taken some heavy slams with this thing and it's completely fine. Touch screens, durability, all that stuff is one thing. It's important in cameras, but we're used to it these days. It's nothing new, right? We expect that in a camera in 2023. But this is where one of the major loyalty points for me comes in, and it's right here. These two little magic slits in the camera is the most genius thing I've maybe ever seen in an action camera ever, and has gotten me loyal to this thing for a lifetime to come. Here's why. Grab your pole mount, grab your camera, put your camera on the pole mount. Mounted. It's not going anywhere. That's insane. Why is that insane? Say I'm getting a follow cam of a friend while he's skiing. I'm like, boom, getting a shot. Okay, epic. Well, I'm about to drop into a freaking sweet panel line, so let me grab my helmet. And I want to get a POV shot, so let me just... Now I'm in POV mode. How long did that take? Maybe 5 seconds. Now, there's only one other thing that might beat the mounting system for this camera, and that is the ease of use of the camera. It just works, man. For anyone who's used pretty much any other competitor, know that action cameras have a problem, and that is that they just most of the time don't really work. You click the button and it like kind of freezes, and then your battery's at 30%, but then it dies. It's like ridiculous. But what I love about this is that it just works. It says 100%, the battery's at 100%. It says 10%, the battery's actually at 10%. You can probably milk a few more minutes out of that. You turn the camera on, and it turns on. You press record, and it records. That's what I care about, and that is major for me. And it doesn't get temperamental when it's in the cold, and it doesn't get temperamental when it's in the hot. It just works all the time. Kind of went on a passion rant there, but I truly believe. So let's talk image quality and resolutions. Now, before we dive into this, DJI was going through some issues apparently with early on buyers where there was like some focusing issue and the camera would come out super soft. Ever since I've owned the camera, which was January 1st of 2023, I have never experienced that. They came out with a firmware that fixed that. So that's a non-issue anymore. I can vouch for it. But hey, I'm gonna let my footage do the talking while I tell you about the modes. I don't need to sell you on if you think the image looks good. I'll let you decide that for yourself. Check it out. In terms of resolutions and frame rates, the max we can do on the Osmo 3 is 4K at 120 FPS. I've found that 4K 120 on this camera comes out stunningly detailed. I think it's got super crisp slow-mo, and I could not really ask for anything more on the image quality side of things here. The 120 FPS is epic because that gives us the ability to slow the footage down to 20%, but if you want even more slow-mo, you can shoot 1080p at 240 FPS. Now, in my opinion, the footage is significantly chunkier when you shoot at 1080. but it's cool to have the feature for 240 FPS in case you need to shoot that slow. It can come out with some cool results, but the quality is going to sacrifice a bit for sure. In addition to resolution and frame rates, the camera also has a super wide angle native lens on her. I think she's a 12mm with Rocksteady on and a 7mm with Rocksteady off. Rocksteady is the internal stabilization that we're all used to on action cameras these days. That's insanely wide, and I think that's the widest I've personally ever seen on an action cam. If you're shooting on ultra wide though, something to note is that it can only shoot 60 FPS in all the modes, which is kind of a bummer. I guess the contrast to this is that their wide mode is already so wide that it works as an immersive POV already. There's something to note, can't go super slow-mo when you're going for ultra wide. Oh my freaking God. Quesadilla delivery? Come say what up. Come say what up to the peeps. I feel like you haven't been in the vids in a long time.
There's a lot of action.
I also have been slacking on the posts. I'm sorry. I want to start posting more. 1 sec. Let me eat this quesadilla. That was really good quesadilla. I've been eating like shit lately, man. It's all right. It's all right. We're young. Well, we're young. Beyond just like the camera modes, the camera also has a lot of features that I really like, and one of the main ones is D-Cine like 10-bit for a color profile. Basically what this means is that it shoots on a super flat profile. The image almost comes out like grayscale, so that when we bring it into the editing room later, we have a ton of flexibility with the colors, and we can change these colors to look however we want and still have the image hold up. 10-bit is special and hard to find, but it's awesome because it just basically means there's more information in the image for more flexibility. I will say that a lot of consumers that just buy this camera are not going to take the time to learn how to color their footage, but I cannot stress enough how important this is, and that I think it might be the biggest factor on action cameras to get the footage to look good. To give you an example, just look at this before and after. I'm going to shamelessly plug myself here, but I have just released my preset pack, which I'm super excited to share with you guys. I get a lot of questions about my colors, and I have tailor-made a preset pack for action cameras, and it's just a drag and drop, just a few settings, and boom, you've got some magical footage that will increase the quality of whatever camera you're using by a significant margin. I'm telling you, color grade is everything when it comes to footage, especially action cameras. So if you're interested, check it out. I'll have a link in the description below. It really supports me as well, so I appreciate anything. And yeah, guys, hopefully it helps you out. Moving on to another key feature is the Rocksteady Stabilization. I talked about it for a second, but we'll dive into it a little bit more. It's amazing, super solid, super steady. I would expect it to be at this point. Every camera has good image stabilization, and if it doesn't, I would throw it out the window, but it does, so all good here. Osmo 3 also has a range of like the creative modes. It's stuff that we've seen before. Again, nothing groundbreaking here, but good to know that it has it. Hyperlapses, time lapses, photos, burst photos, all that stuff's built in so you can mess around with flexibility and different shooting modes. Next talking point is for the vloggers. Let's talk audio. I've learned to love vlogging on my action cameras. A lot of you that have been around for a while know this. My reason for that is because I love how easy and non-intrusive that it is. People oftentimes get intimidated when you bring a big camera rig up into their face, but when you're carrying around this little action camera, it makes everything like feel way more carefree and fun, and people can just be more themselves, and I found I could be more myself, and I found that it's just convenient as hell. So for that, I've loved vlogging on an action camera, but to vlog, you need reliable audio. So far, I've made 2 vlogs entirely on the Osmo Action 3, and I did not have a mic. I was using the regular inbuilt mic, and the audio sounded like this.
Guys, today's going absolutely sick. Even though we were super delayed, even though we didn't get any powder, it's going great. Follow cams are going down.
Out of these 2 videos, there was only 1 instance in my entire time filming for these videos where the audio sounded pretty bad, like this.
Off the POV, we're gonna try this cam out at 4K 60 ultra wide. That allows for the most immersive view and really feels like you're in my eyes. I'm gonna pop it up on the top mount here.
Yep. That's not great, but it worked 99% of the time. The audio only sounded like that in like a couple clips because snow or wind was just blasted into the microphone, causing that problem. But I will say having like an attached mic to the camera would be a major plus for any vloggers out there. The good news is that DJI made it so that you can attach a USB-C microphone to these things. They also offer their DJI mic, which is a super advanced lav system that plugs right in here, and then the mic is attached to your shirt here so that you're getting clean audio throughout. I will say I would love to see DJI come out with something like GoPro's Media Mod, which is basically a housing with a little shotgun microphone built onto it. That's just a super genius design that helps everybody out. So I'd love to see that in the future, but for now, you can get creative and figure out a way to mount a shotgun mic on their housing, and it works. So not that big of a deal, but that'd be cool. Next up, batteries. This is like loyalty point number 3, one that I'm gonna get super passionate about because it freaking is a game changer. The batteries on this thing is insane. It's insane. Definitely one of the top 3 reasons why I've switched over completely is because it's so damn reliable. The batteries are so good. For those of you guys that film snow sports, you know that having a reliable battery that lasts a long time, but also doesn't just crap out on you in the middle of filming your buddy get the pow turns of his life, you know that's insanely important. And I can tell you confidently and passionately that these batteries hold up, dude. Like, I don't know. I filmed with this thing a lot at the mountain, and I have not ran through over 2 batteries in an entire day of filming, and the adventure combo comes with 3 batteries, so I've never ran out. If things were to get low though, DJI offers this case, and this case is genius because 1, it not only holds your batteries super conveniently and tells you their status, but it also acts as a portable charger. So you got a micro USB port here that can connect into the micro USB port here, and it can charge your camera on the go in case you did end up losing all 3 batteries or they all died on you somehow. There's also never been a glitch in the system. No freezing, no dying early, no nothing. Flawless freaking batteries, and that matters, man. Matters major. Oh yeah, and guess how fast it can charge your camera if it did happen to die? They advertise 18 minutes, and your camera's back to full charge. Take one run, get back to the top, unplug your portable charger from your camera, back to full charge, game over. So, obviously I'm a massive advocate for the camera, but what do I think could be better? Let's throw this in there. When it comes to mode flexibility and having more options, I think that they could improve here. Really the only modes we have here that anyone would ever care to use is 4K 60 ultra wide, 4K 120 wide, or 4K 24 wide. Maybe 1080 240 if you want the super slow motion. But what I would love to see them improve on is having a little bit more mode flexibility. Now, in all honesty, I think those 3 modes, those 3 4K modes, are the only 3 you're ever really gonna need and want to use. The image is great, there's good slow motion, and you get super immersive views. But maybe having 2.7K 240 could be clutch. Or having I don't even want to bring up 5K because the difference between 5K and 4K, I swear, is unnoticeable. Other than that, I love what GoPro did with their 8:9 aspect ratio mode on the GoPro 11, I think. But that's really cool because it's basically a giant square so that one shot can either be cropped vertically or horizontally so that you don't have to worry about flipping the camera sideways to shoot for different content. That isn't that big of a deal for me, like I already said, because I always shoot wide and then I just convert it in editing later to a vertical frame. But it would be cool to have that flexibility and option to just do that on the fly. Last thing that I wish is something like the GoPro Media Mod, which I already touched on. Just having a built-in little camera housing with a super reliable microphone and a compact package would be huge. For me, the Osmo Action 3 is a 9 out of 10. And my reasoning for that is because it's a reliable action cam with incredible battery life and incredible mounting system that helps the ease of access and the usability and having no frustration. All of that is through the roof on this camera, as well as a very comparable image quality to anything else out there on the market. The only thing that could be improved is something like an 8:9 aspect ratio, having a few more modes, and having something like the media mod so we didn't have to DIY our own audio setup. But other than that, it's the perfect action camera in my opinion, and it has gained my forever loyalty because of just how good it works. If you're interested in purchasing the Osmo Action 3 or anything DJI related for that matter, please use the link in the description below, as I'll earn a small commission and it'll help me keep making videos like this for the future. If you're still not convinced on the Osmo Action 3, check out this video here, as it'll maybe help you decide on future purchases. Love you guys. See you next upload. I almost said next week, but not running that anymore. Kind of gnarly on the cranium.